Howdy! Welcome to Down Home Game with Andrew. On today's episode, I want to talk about a game that I played a lot when I was a kid on my Atari 8-bit computer, Adventure International's Preppie 2. It was written by Russ Wetmore, who wrote 3 games for AI before he left the video game industry in the wake of the 1983 North American video game crash. The Preppie games star a character named Wadsworth Overcash, who's trying to get through prep school, but he keeps on getting himself in some very sticky situations. The instruction manual for Preppie 2 even has about several pages of lore that is absolutely wild. Anyway, this was a game I really enjoyed when I was a kid. I even dressed up for the occasion. I've got my Lacoste alligator shirt here. So, without further ado, let's fire up Preppie 2. Alright, before I start playing, I'm going to make one quick adjustment. Alright, so Wadsworth Overcash is dressed in his Lacoste polo shirt with the alligator, but I'm going to have him make a sacrifice here. And that's Chopin's Funeral March, which was a signifier for death in a lot of early video games. I learned a lot about classical music from video games and cartoons. So, I like the coloring of Player 2 Wadsworth better. He's wearing a green polo shirt instead of a white one. You know, I'm wearing a green polo shirt myself, and plus I just think the coloring looks better. Kind of reminds me of Luigi from Mario Brothers. You didn't get to see Luigi. You didn't get to see Luigi unless you were Player 2. So, and those doors are kind of like the doors from an arcade game called Ladybug. Okay, and there's 3 parts to each level. This is part 1. It's always a green frog maze. You don't have to complete the parts of each level in order, but it helps because you don't have to backtrack so much. And also exit and leave to reset the frogs to their default positions. Okay, so sometimes that helps. Try luring the frogs over to this side of the screen. Lure the frogs away from that unpainted part of the screen. Sometimes they're very stubborn about being lured away. AI in this game isn't actually too bad for an 80s arcade style game, I should say. This was not an arcade game. So, in this part of the maze, you have vehicles that travel horizontally. The lawnmowers and golf carts are enemies from the original Preppie. That was a Frogger style game where your object was to collect golf balls from a golf course. See if I can do better at luring these frogs. just doesn't seem to want to leave its corner. It's probably the best shot I'm going to have of clearing out that part of the maze. Alright, let's move on to the next and finish it off. You have to be very careful about being in the corners of this part of the maze because the enemies will still spawn on top of you. Yep, a lot of arcade games didn't really protect you from the consequences of your own stupidity if you chose to stand on spawn points. So the third part is another frog maze. Okay. Usually the best strategy in this game is to try to lure the frogs over to one side of the maze or one part of the maze so that you can clear out another part of the maze without worrying about being surrounded or any other kind of interference like that. The cloaking will make you invisible, which will protect you from enemies, but it also makes you invisible, so you can't see yourself. So you have to really be sure of where your position is when you decide to take your finger off the fire button, or else you're gonna end up materializing right under a frog, or a lawnmower, or a car. And then when you finish a level, you get a bonus based on how much cloak meter you have left. And then you get a Pac-Man style cutscene. In this case, you have the Lacoste crocodile chasing Wadsworth Overcash. And now you have Wadsworth chasing a crocodile with what's either a paintbrush or a paint can, but either way the crocodile didn't like it. Alright, level 2. This time we're painting the maze blue. Alright, I want to see if I can get these frogs lured out of the way so I can get the edges on the other side of the maze. Alright, that worked out pretty well. Frogs move a lot faster than you think they do. It doesn't take them as long to get to you as you would think. And plus, sometimes their jumps are a little bit unpredictable. Sometimes they'll hesitate a couple seconds, and then sometimes they'll just come right at you. And of course, that frog is not wanting to move away from guarding that center area. If we can get said, for an early 80s computer game, the AI here isn't too bad. This is a vehicle level, and as you can see, the vehicles are getting a lot faster, so you really got to be more and more careful as you play. Alright, we're gonna let that one go by and then go get that corner. Keep in mind that the vehicles can spawn right on top of you if you're too close to the corner when they come out. So, taking a lot more risk there. Let's see. Go by. Get out of the way of that fast moving car. I'm gonna wait here until that. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and clear out that corner. So we just got a couple more corners here to take care of. They're kind of risky because they're far away from any kind of exit. But I think I should be able to do that one just fine. Yep. Alright, we're about 2/3 of the way through level 2. Cloak to get through that. Okay. Careful there. This level has a lot of enclosed areas that trapped if there are too many frogs close by. That beeping means that I got an extra life. You get 1 extra life when you get 8,000 points. That's the only extra life the game gives you, so you have to make the best of it. Alright, I think I can get that last little bit. Alright, so that's level 2. Now have 4 lives total. Another cutscene with Wadsworth being chased by the Lacoste alligator. Or Lacoste, sorry. This time Mr. Lacoste Gator is going to be perplexed when Wadsworth uses his cloak to escape. Alright. And things are already getting a lot harder now because now there's, instead of 4 frogs, there's 6. This game's really trying to make you lose here. So, the challenge is really ramping up. See if I can wall off these frogs. Much harder when there are 6 frogs than it does when there are 4 frogs. All these frogs come over here. Of course, that one frog, there's always one frog guarding that corner up there. I can get this little row of unpainted squares here. Bit hairy here. Alright. So I've used up a lot of my cloak already. As you can see, the vehicles are now a lot faster, so these levels are getting pretty dangerous too. Corners while they're clear. Okay, probably better not do that. This is going to be cutting it very close. Okay. Alright, we're almost done here. Time to tackle the frog maze again. Once again, there are 6 frogs instead of 4. Distracted long enough to figure out a lot of this maze. All clear here. I'm going to shut this door. Keep them from coming over here while I paint this section. Alright, let's see if I can get them to go up here. Alright, perfect. That worked out perfectly. Alright, well I think I've got level 3 locked down. Level 3 down. Still have 4 lives left. Got the Lacoste crocodile chasing Wadsworth again. This time Mr. Crocodile is perplexed that everything seems to be upside down. Alright, level 4. Now as you can see, I'm moving twice as fast as I was, which is good because everything else is moving a lot faster too. Including the frogs this time are moving markedly faster. Lost a life. Get to listen to Chopin again. And we're going to listen to him again because player 1 is going to sacrifice his life since I've chosen to be player 2. Okay, I still have 3 more lives. Just have to be a little bit more careful with them. Now it looks like Wadsworth's trying to paint the Daytona Speedway here. About my increased walking speed is that it makes the game a little bit more lively on my end. Okay. See if I can clear out this section without getting squashed by a looking lawnmower or a drunken golf cart driver. Alright, this section's at least cleared. Let's go try to clear this one. Okay, this is not good. Plus side, they're all distracted over here, so I'm gonna clear out this half the maze. They're all tied up over there. See if I can get them, say, around over here. Alright, so that's got one more section to go. Alright, and that's level 4. See if I can break my face up. And this time the Lacoste alligator is really mad. Turned into a giant, must eat a Super Mario mushroom. Alright, so level 5. I think it looks exactly the same as level 4, except, you know, now there's 8 frogs instead of 6. Now the second screen is turned into F1 Championship. Yep. Lost another life. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it through this level, but we're going to try. He's going to go ahead and do his last life. Alright, player 1, game over. Let's try this one again. Hey, to against 1 is not very good odds here. Alright. Last life here. Okay. Lawnmower guys mow like Hank Hill wishes he mowed. Alright, see if I can at least make it to 40,000. That section's done. Try to make it to 40,000 here. Probably should have shut that door. Alright. Alright, did make it to 40,000 points. Here come the frogs. Frogs away, try to preserve my poking ability. Alright. Nope. Alright, 42,200 points. I think that's the best I've ever done at this game. Alright, well that was Preppie 2. Hope you enjoyed watching it. And that was Preppie 2. You know, I mean, I really loved that game when I was a little kid. You know, even though I was kind of young for Preppie culture, of course. I mean, even back then, the alligator polo shirts were pretty iconic in my childhood. But after Russ Wetmore left the video game industry, he went on to success in other sectors of the computer industry. However, in the late 2010s, he did release the source code for Preppie, Preppie 2, and the Atari 8-bit version of Sea Dragon. And then at that time, a copy of an unreleased prototype game that he wrote called Lulu also surfaced. So all these games are available through various Atari forums as well as the Internet Archive. And you know, if you're interested, check it out for yourself. I mean, they were very creative takes on the Pac-Man and Frogger formulas. So, alright, well, thank you again for watching. As always, like and subscribe if you like what you see, and I will see you next time.